Welcome to our channel, where we explore the fascinating connections between celestial events and Earth's geological transformations. In today's video, we're diving into Edgar Cayce's prophecies about Earth changes and how they might align with the upcoming solar eclipse of March 29, 2025. Could this cosmic event trigger the seismic shifts and natural disasters he predicted? Stay tuned as we examine these intriguing predictions and their potential impact on our planet. Let's get started. Edgar Cayce, often referred to as the Sleeping Prophet, is one of the most well-known clairvoyants of the 20th century. He provided thousands of readings on topics ranging from health to spirituality. But one of his most intriguing areas of focus was Earth changes. Cayce foresaw shifting poles, rising sea levels, and increased seismic activity, particularly in regions like the U.S. West Coast, Japan, and the Atlantic Basin. While he did not specifically link these catastrophic events to a particular solar eclipse, modern researchers have drawn connections between his prophecies and celestial events, especially the solar eclipse of March 29, 2025. Throughout history, major solar eclipses have often been followed by significant seismic and volcanic activity. Researchers point to notable examples, such as the 2010 Chile earthquake, which occurred just months after a major eclipse, and the 2017 American eclipse, which was followed by an increase in seismic disturbances in North America. This pattern suggests that eclipses may serve as precursors to geological shifts. If this trend continues, the total solar eclipse of March 29, 2025, could be a harbinger of intensified natural disasters, aligning with predictions made by Edgar Cayce. The path of the 2025 solar eclipse will traverse several regions known for their tectonic instability. These include parts of the Pacific Ocean, South America, and Africa, all of which have a history of powerful earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Some scientists theorize that the gravitational influences of the Sun and Moon during eclipses contribute to increased tectonic stress. This added strain on Earth's crust may act as a trigger for seismic or volcanic activity, particularly in already unstable regions. Edgar Cayce predicted significant Earth changes leading up to a transformational period. He foresaw increasing natural disasters, particularly earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, as signs of a global shift. Many of the locations he mentioned, such as the west coast of the Americas and parts of the Pacific, align with the eclipse's trajectory. Cayce's readings suggested that cosmic events could be tied to earthly transformations. If this interpretation holds true, the 2025 eclipse could signal the acceleration of these changes. While mainstream science does not formally recognize a direct causal link between eclipses and geological activity, the recurrence of seismic events following major eclipses raises intriguing questions about possible connections. If historical patterns persist, monitoring seismic and volcanic activity following the 2025 eclipse could be prudent. Areas along the eclipse's path may require heightened awareness of potential geological disturbances. While skepticism remains, the correlation between eclipses and seismic activity continues to be studied. As we approach this celestial event, researchers and observers alike will be watching closely to see if it serves as another example of the link between cosmic alignments and Earth changes. If Cayce's prophecies hold true, the coming years may bring significant transformations that reshape our understanding of planetary cycles and human history. Over the past decade, the world has witnessed an alarming increase in extreme weather events, seismic activity, and oceanic changes. These occurrences closely align with the predictions of Edgar Cayce, the renowned American mystic, who foresaw significant geological transformations in the 21st century. One of Cayce's most discussed prophecies involved devastating earthquakes in California. Recent years have seen heightened seismic activity along the San Andreas Fault and surrounding regions, with scientists warning that the Big One remains a looming threat. The frequency and intensity of earthquakes in California and other seismically active zones suggest that Earth's crust is undergoing considerable stress. Additionally, volcanic activity has surged worldwide, particularly in the Pacific Ring of Fire. Once dormant volcanoes have become active, spewing ash and lava and reinforcing Casey's visions of fiery upheavals. Notable eruptions in places such as Indonesia, Iceland, and Hawaii indicate an unsettling pattern of increased volcanic disturbances. Cayce also warned of polar shifts, which scientists have recently acknowledged through their studies of Earth's magnetic field. The magnetic North Pole has been drifting at an accelerated pace, raising concerns about potential disruptions to navigation systems and climate patterns. The correlation between Casey's warnings and these observable shifts adds another layer of intrigue to his predictions. Another alarming trend is the rise in oceanic disruptions, particularly the threat of tsunamis. Warming ocean temperatures, melting polar ice caps, and shifting tectonic plates have contributed to fears of massive tidal waves. The potential for an Atlantic tsunami remains a significant concern, mirroring Casey's prophecies of coastal inundations. Looking ahead, the March 2025 eclipse could serve as a pivotal moment in Earth's geological timeline. If these current trends persist, this celestial event may coincide with or even trigger significant planetary changes, further validating Casey's hauntingly accurate foresights. The alignment of celestial events, such as a significant eclipse, with the prophecies of Edgar Cayce has sparked a mix of fascination and speculation among those who believe in the mystical connections between cosmic occurrences and Earth's future. Cayce predicted many geological changes, including seismic activity and shifting land masses. Some interpret these prophecies as aligning with the increased activity we are seeing today, particularly along fault lines that Cayce mentioned. One of the key signs to watch for before, during, and after the eclipse is seismic activity, especially along the Pacific Ring of Fire and other fault zones like those near the mid-Atlantic ridge. Cayce predicted that certain faults, including those in the western United States, could experience significant movement, potentially altering landscapes. If earthquakes or volcanic eruptions follow the eclipse, it might serve as a clue that planetary shifts are occurring as he foresaw. Another factor that aligns with Cayce's predictions is unusual solar or geomagnetic activity. The sun's cycles and solar flares could contribute to increased disruptions in the Earth's magnetic field, potentially triggering natural disasters. This type of activity may also influence the atmosphere, leading to extreme weather patterns such as storms or heat waves. Cayce's prophecies also hinted at rising ocean levels, particularly near low-lying coastal areas. Rising sea levels and even the emergence of new landmasses specifically around the Bahamas or the mid-Atlantic ridge could signal the onset of major geological changes. If unusual patterns in ocean currents, temperatures, or rising water levels become apparent after the eclipse, it might be seen as a physical manifestation of Cayce's predictions, signaling that Earth is undergoing transformation in ways that align with ancient prophecies. Cayce made several prophecies regarding natural disasters that he claimed would reshape the world. Many of his readings focused on dramatic earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and geographical transformations, warning that certain areas would undergo severe upheavals. Cayce suggested that a major shift in Earth's poles would occur, leading to extreme climate changes. He indicated that these shifts would result in rising sea levels, melting ice caps, and increased natural disasters. Some interpret his readings as foreshadowing modern concerns about climate change and polar instability. Cayce predicted that Japan and the U.S. West Coast would experience devastating earthquakes. He stated that parts of California, Nevada, and the Pacific Northwest would be particularly affected. He also spoke of volcanic eruptions, especially involving Mount Vesuvius and Mount Pelée, which could signal impending Earth shifts. Another significant warning was that when the South Pacific or Caribbean begins to experience increased seismic activity, it would be a sign of greater changes happening on a global scale. Cayce frequently spoke about the lost continent of Atlantis, predicting that remnants of this ancient civilization would resurface. He specifically mentioned Bimini in the Bahamas, where underwater structures resembling ancient ruins have indeed been discovered. Some researchers believe that changes in ocean levels, potentially linked to the coming eclipse, could expose more of these ancient structures. He stated that parts of New York, Connecticut, and other coastal cities would eventually be submerged. He also indicated that parts of the southeastern US, such as Louisiana and Florida, would disappear under rising waters. His predictions about the Atlantic region suggest that massive underwater shifts could trigger such flooding events. Edgar Cayce's predictions about Earth changes remain a subject of debate and intrigue. His warnings about earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and landmass shifts are eerily aligned with modern scientific concerns. While he did not directly associate these events with a specific solar eclipse, some researchers have made connections between the March 29, 2025 solar eclipse and the geological transformations he described. If history is any indicator, celestial alignments like this upcoming eclipse could serve as a warning or a signal of imminent change. Whether these changes will unfold exactly as Casey foresaw remains uncertain, but the world will be watching closely as this cosmic event approaches. Regardless of belief in prophecy, the idea that planetary movements and celestial events might influence Earth's geology is a concept worth considering. As science and spirituality continue to intersect, we may discover that Casey's visions were not merely predictions but insights into the deeper connections between the cosmos and our planet. As we approach the March 29, 2025 solar eclipse, the world waits in anticipation, reflecting on the prophetic warnings of Edgar Cayce. His visions of seismic shifts, rising sea levels, and geological transformations resonate more than ever. Whether these predictions align with the upcoming celestial event remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: the Earth is in a constant state of change. Keep watching, stay informed, and let's navigate these shifts together. Thanks for joining us, and stay tuned for more insights.